Today we're going to show you a really easy way to make a rockabilly petticoat just like this one. What you're going to need to get yourself started for this project is a petticoat slip. You can get these from most thrift stores. I got this one from my local St Vinny's, and all I did was just cut off the top section and put elastic in to fit me. So that goes just like that. You can just make one of these as well, so you can just get a small bit of cotton, make it into just a straight skirt and just put elastic around the top. So that's what you'll need to get yourself started. The other things you'll need to make this petticoat is a good pair of scissors, a tape measure, some pins, tailor's chalk and some tulle. The tulle I'm using for the petticoat today is a soft tulle. You can get hard tulle, but it doesn't sit very well with the petticoats. So this one is in between the harsh and the bridal tulle, and I always wash it before I use it because it makes it nice and soft. So you'll need about 1.2 metres of tulle, and we're going to cut up all those sections and use it for the petticoat. Okay, to get us started, we're going to cut out our tulle. So first of all, measure 30 centimetres along with your tape measure. Fold your tulle over, cut along the line and also cut along the fold, so you'll have two pieces of tulle. Grab the next bit of tulle and do the same. So fold it over, measure 30 centimetres, cut down the fold and cut down there, so you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of tulle to sew together to make the petticoat. Now we're going to sew our tulle together. So grab your pieces of tulle, these two long sections. We're going to sew these two sides together down here and the other end as well. We're going to do that with this piece of tulle and this piece of tulle. And what we're going to do is put the machine on a zigzag, and we're going to sew the very edge of the tulle. So put it on a small zigzag and keep the stitches pretty close together. So we're just going to zigzag down that side and the other two. Once you've finished sewing your tulle, just turn that inside out and pop it down on your table. The next thing we're going to do is get our petticoat ready to sew the tulle on. I've decided to do 2 layers of tulle on this petticoat. I'm going to do one at 7 inches and one at 5 inches. So I'm going to match the waist up to the top of the tape measure. Coming all the way down, I'm just going to mark 7 along there with the tailor's chalk and 5. I'm going to do that all the way around, so when I sew the tulle on, I can match it up with the tailor's chalk. So just keep doing that all the way around so you've got a really good guide and you know where you're going. Now we're going to divide up our tulle. What we're going to do is get the tulle and hold the end seam there and put one pin in there. We're going to divide the tulle up into 4 pieces, so when we put it on the petticoat we can gather it evenly. So put a pin in on one seam, come down to the other seam and put a pin in there as well, so that's 2 points. Okay, now get those 2 points and match them up like that. And then in the middle, you're going to have 2 more points, which is right here. So we're going to put a pin in either of those points, so we've divided that up into 4. The same thing goes for the petticoat. We're going to divide the petticoat up into 4, so the 2 side seams and then the 2 middle seams. So put 4 pins in your petticoat on the top section where you've marked on the tailor's chalk, and you're going to match those 4 points up to the 4 points on the tulle, so when you sew it around all the gathers are going to be nice and even. Grab your tulle, find the 4 points on the tulle and the 4 points on your petticoat and start pinning. Come over to your sewing machine and we're going to sew the tulle to the petticoat. Pop your stitch on zigzag, put it on the widest zigzag you can, and probably fairly a long stitch. Make sure that your petticoat is matching up with the tulle, and off you go. Just gather the tulle as you're sewing along like this, keeping an eye on the next point where it's pinned up so you can gather it evenly. This is what the petticoat looks like after you've sewn the first layer on. Now we're going to sew the second layer on. The reason that we sew this one on first is just because putting the tulle on the top is just easier. So you're pretty much going to repeat the same step as you did with the first one. So get your tulle, mark out the 4 points, mark out the 4 points on the petticoat, match it all up, sew it all together, and then you've got your second layer of tulle on your petticoat. And there you go. That's how you make a rockabilly petticoat. It's all finished and ready to wear. We'll see you next time.